Hey lovely people, happy snowy Sunday. I thought I would give my review by video while I'm making some juice. First off, super cool movie, thank you for the suggestions. You can't go wrong with Mystics Without Borders. I mean, you know, in a hippie ship. Super cool. Yeah, from the first scene, the pilly sweaters like freak me the hell out. Like, where is like virtual reality going to take people? So that was pretty tripped out. Yeah, and the whole premise of the movie in terms of this side. Well, the thing that struck me when the guy came out after performing, he was like, "Wow, that wasn't what I imagined it to be." And there is a saying that says reality isn't all that we imagine it to be, and even more so, the wisdom of Winnie the Pooh is that there is a moment that's better than eating honey, and that's the moment just before eating honey. And that's because the chemistry or the physiology that we create with our fantasy about eating honey is sweeter than the actual experience. And this is the foundation of addictions and things like that. So, or obsessions and things of that nature. So it's not uncommon for us to say, wow, I really want to perform with Dorothea, man, it's going to be like amazing, right? And you're flooding your body with all these, neurochemicals and neuropeptides and stuff, and you're getting stoned and high on that, and it's kind of tickling your physiology and all kinds of, hitting all bases. And then the reality is just, normal. The thing about it, though, is that if you think about how sensual or how amazing it was to have our first breath, or the first caress of our skin, or the first taste of whatever, right, your favorite food, the experience had to have been as big as the sky. So I totally I love that they put that in there, that this new soul that was kind of afraid of, taking the deep dive, that was her experience, right? Or whatever, hers, its experience, right? And that when we do pay attention, this is what mushrooms have always been about, right? When you take mushrooms, all of a sudden it's a sensual world. You can stare at a candle for an hour and a half or more, right? It's because it's like, wow, you're like so present. And your experience isn't diluted by other things, right? Or other thoughts or wandering thoughts, right? That focus is incredible. So there was that. I love that the accountant had an Australian accent, and I'd love to see the storyboard of how they, like when he came down into, planet Earth and he's going around the signs, and then he shows up into the walk sign. I mean, all of that stuff was like so super cool. So I dug that. I think that covers a lot. Oh, the other thing too is that I don't know if you're familiar with the work of like Michael Newton. He wrote a book called Journey of Souls and Life Between Lives. But he's a hypnotherapist, regression analysis guy, who mapped out, he had like 10,000 people kept reporting the same things. When they died, they transitioned, and he mapped out the stages of, our soul realm and the soul group. And Brian Weiss, another guy who wrote Many Lives, Many Masters, did a similar thing. He had a really crazy experience at the time. He was president of the psychiatric department for Columbia University, and in a hypnotherapy session, somebody said, hey, your son and your father are here with me. And his son had passed away like 3 years prior, and he was not, from that area, so he was like, oh my God, right? So he starts talking to the woman, and they start answering questions. And I think the story goes that it took him about 4 years to really go public with his experience, because it was just, nuts. So, anyhow, all right, now I'm going to add this last of the celery. I'm going to overflow. Wait a second. Get my jar. Got some good juju ginger here. This is going in next. And this is for Bruce and I. Oh, and I did the cryo already. It was really cool. I dropped from 89 skin temperature to 44. And 44 and a half or something like that. So I dropped about 45 degrees, which is kind of perfect. So anyway, I hope you lovely ladies are having the best day ever. And yum. I'm around, so find me if you want. Otherwise, have a fabulous day. Peace and love.